Hey, welcome to another video by your favorite teacher, Chief RBC. Guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you aren't scared to death in life and that nothing is causing you to feel down. And I hope you find yourselves happy today. We're going to jump into particle effects here, and I just want to go as quick as I can because there's a lot we need to do. So this is not going to be a full introduction into everything that is particle effects, but starting right off the bat, we're going to drop in a particle effects field. And for those of you who already know how to do this, you can totally skip this video and stuff like that if you want to. For those of you who have not worked with particles and are trying to get a little familiar with them, this is going to be an introduction to you. Right off the bat, we have it set to looping. I have it set to duration, and I just want to show you something right now. If you set the duration to 1, you'll see that it only goes for just a little bit and then it fades off. If I set it to 5, it goes a little further and it just keeps going duration wise. So what we want to do is I want to start with, oh, sorry, you can't see the duration because I have it set to looping. Forgive me. If I set it to 1, you only see it kind of jumping off, but we're going to loop this sucker, and every time we start it, if we hit play, if I turn that off and I hit play right now, you'll see that it just stopped right there. If I set it to 5, it'll go for about 5 seconds here real quick. You'll see it go 1, 2, 3, 4, play. Yay. Okay, just for the purpose of trying to get a look and feel, I'm going to set it to loop just so I can see how things are going. Pre-warming up your actual particles. Basically, it says here when played, a pre-warmed system will be in the state as if it had emitted one loop cycle. It can only be used if the system is looping, by the way. We're not going to worry about that right now, so you can leave it turned off just for this. And our start delay, I would use start delay, for example, if I were creating a rain cloud and all of a sudden rain had to start up in a little bit. So basically you can set how your particles, when they start, when they stop. The start lifetime is how long that lifetime goes over. And one of the things I want to do is I want to show you really quickly here with the start speed. So I've selected this little thing, and let's just say I want to change it to a speed of 1. Okay, you'll see how it kind of slowed down everything. But what if all of a sudden I really would like to just keep kind of playing with it until I'm happy with it? Rather than me coming over here and clicking every single time and changing the number, if I remain on top of this right here with my mouse, if I just hit enter, enter right there, you'll basically see that it selects it for me and I can change it then to what I want. Okay, it's a little tip inside of Unity so you're not constantly click, 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 you know. All right, we're going to set the start size of these things. Let's set them to about 2, maybe 3. So enter, enter right there and hit 3. Let's go a little bit bigger. Let's go 5. There we are. So we're trying to create a little smoky particle effect. Now, in order for me, excuse me, to go forward with this, I'd like to add a little start rotation into it. And, excuse me, swallowed a frog here. I'm going to flip the rotation slightly. Let's set that to like a 0.25. You'll just see that it's starting to slightly rotate these things a little bit. Our start color is set to white right now, so if I wanted to change that to a different color, I could. I'm just going to set it to red just because it's fun. And then if we set the gravity modifier to like 0.1, let's do 0.01 right there. I want a little drag on this stuff. I want to see it kind of flying out. You'll see that how the gravity modifier. By the way, we're working inside here inside a shape that is called the cone. You can set up any shape you want. You can even create your own shapes if you want to that use the particles. And then the video that the guy's going to go over that I want you to look at a little more in depth, he can show you that. He has a great little video on it and stuff. For right now, we're just using a cone and we're set in one direction. And if you just kind of look at the angle, it's shooting out 25. Okay, one thing I wanted you guys to see down here. Okay, maximum particles. Watch what happens when I hit 100 particles. Okay, there's really no difference between 1,000 particles and 100. They're all just shooting out really fast. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're starting off with the minimum amount of what you're doing. So 25, obviously not enough. So we're going to hit enter, enter right here, and let's try 50 and see how that looks. I think 50 is a lot. By the way, if you look at this, you'll notice that if you keep your particle effects as low as possible, they can still look really great. And in the end, you're not shooting thousands of particles out, which will keep your scenes really light. So remember to do that. Now, right now, we are setting the scaling mode to local. leave it at right there. The delta time is set to scale. We'll go in more depth of these things, but for right now, I just wanted you to kind of see this. Okay, as we come down, if you look at this, you can change, we're going to skip the rest of these for the moment. And if we come down to our velocity over lifetime, you can change the velocity and speed of how much it goes over the lifetime of this. You know, for example, if you have smoke and you want it to slow down, you can change that velocity over a lifetime. So let's say we're hitting in the Z direction. If I hit 1 here, you can they go a lot faster. Okay. If I hit 0.01, okay, they start to slow down a little bit. If I hit again 0.001, now they're really slowing down there towards the end, and they're coming off fast at the beginning. By the way, right up here, your start speed at the beginning is what sets the beginning of your sprite. Down here is where you set the ending of it. So, or meaning the speed ending and speed beginning. Limit velocity over a lifetime. If you turn this on right here and you see how it has the speed, let's just put a 0.1. By the way, a lot of the increments inside the particle effects are really, really small. So just know that if you're dropping in 100 in there, it's probably not going to do anything. Do we want to dampen this? Well, maybe that's a little too much. Let's dampen it at 0.001. Now we're starting to get this really beautiful smoky looking effect right here. All right, so inherent velocity, I'm not going to touch that for right now. Force over lifetime, don't need to worry about it. Color over a lifetime, however, I may want to change that. So let's just see what happens. So if I start down here, you got to click on the bottom ones and change the color. If I set that to black, ooh, I got the wrong direction, but look, I can switch these just like in Photoshop. Awesome. And so I start to get this really kind of fun effect where it starts to get there. Now, the only thing our particle's missing is a little bit of size over the lifetime. So I'm going to come down here to size. I'm going to click on that. Notice how it's really small. By the way, be careful with this. If you click on that little graph right there, you're going to notice that you can really mess this up quickly. You can pull these out of there, and it's kind of hard to navigate this little screen. What I like to do is I like to start by putting an increment of 10. Okay, notice how, whoa, man, that is like, wow, crazy. But if I start coming up a little bit here, it might be a little bit too much. Let's start with an increment of about, well, let's go with 2. There we are. Let's start with 2. I like that right there. So if we kind of bring it down a little bit, we can bring up this. Oh, see, this is what I told you right here. Let's go with 1. You can really screw this up really fast, and I've just done that. So if you mess up, you can click one of these as long as you're still within the area, and it will start to let's go and we'll switch it to a straight line, and let's bring up the particles from the beginning. You know what, let's set this to about 2 right there. And by the way, the scale we're setting at is the top one. So let's bring this one. So if we change this number, it's setting the top as what it is. So I'm going to grab this one down here and bring it down just a little up right there. Okay. So there, we're starting to get a really cool smoky looking effect. Now, the only other way I can change this or really add to it is if I wanted to, I can put sub emitters on it. Or for example, I might have little tiny things like, let's say a little particle that floats in the air that looks like little embers that have burned. Okay, also additionally, if I want to, I can change the overall particle by putting into it a material. Okay, I can change, the look of this based upon a material that I've created. And we're going to do that next time we come in here. We're going to show you kind of how to do some materials. There's also some amazing looking things that you can do that you can create additional alphas and stuff like that. But just for the giggles of it, we're just going to go ahead and create something here. I've created a new material. And this is the material that I would use. And just so you know, it's going to be under particle. You want to make sure that you set it to either standard unlit or standard surface. And when you're applying things, you can't just drag and drop things into these type of materials. You have to click on the albedo and then load it via the selection of the texture right there. So for example, if I wanted this one, I could have it in there. Typically, I turn down my smoothness and my roughness all the way just because I don't want any shine coming off it, but you might want some. You can even set in an emission if you want to and actually add a color onto it. So say you wanted to add an emission map or something like that. That's great for fire and things like that. You can also create textures that will allow it to spread light and do all sorts of stuff. So this is a quick introduction. I'm not going to go too far into this. We've done 10 minutes. Don't want you guys to be wasting a ton of time on this. We'll do some more, and I want you guys to keep a close eye out. By the way, quick shout out to everybody. We love you. I'll be on Discord tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys are excited. You know what the cool part about this is that I'm going to be able to work from home, which means that I can show you guys more stuff, and hopefully you guys get to ask some good questions. So I'll see you online tomorrow. All right, we'll see you. Bye.